Gordon is our second fastest qualifier for Sunday's 46th annual Quicken Loans 400. And Jeff drives the number 24 Drive to End Hunger Chevrolet. Jeff, certainly a strong effort today by the folks at Hendrick, and you're right up there knocking on the door for the pole. 203.776 miles per hour. That's pretty quick around here, but as Dale was alluding to, how did it feel out there in the car itself going that fast?
Yeah, I mean, it has to feel pretty good if you're going to go that fast, because the speed obviously comes from you know, the long straightaways and the big sweeping corners and the amount of grip that we have. But you know, you got to push it hard, and as Dale mentioned, the added downforce. I think the combination of the spoiler and the downforce, but then what the teams have been able to do with those lowered ride heights to just maximize the amount of downforce, as well as maintain a low car down the straightaway for good straightaway speed. And then you take the horsepower on top of that, and makes for a very, very fast racetrack and times there qualifying. So that was a great session for us. Last 2 weeks have been great sessions for us, where you know, we've improved in the final session. Made it to session 3, and then solidly in all 3 sessions, and then actually made our best lap on the final run. So wasn't enough for Harvick. He was strong. Even the first time out, I thought my lap was pretty good, which it was, but nowhere near Kevin's. And then that last time, we actually got a little closer to him, had a good lap, but still not enough for Kevin. So you know, those guys are really, really tough, especially in qualifying. But great effort by Hendrick Engines, and you know, to have me and Dale right there second, third. That was and I know Jimmy's not far back either. So really been pretty excited. I mean, all day we've had a great car.
All right, we'll take a few questions for Jeff. If you have one, raise your hand. Questions for Jeff Gordon? Anybody? Nate Ryan?
Nate Ryan, USA Sports. Jeff, Dale was saying he didn't even really kind of notice how fast he was going. It was just so comfortable. With 20 cars above 200 miles an hour, I mean, that used to be a real kind of daunting number, and now it just seems like you guys have just gotten accustomed to running that fast here. Is it just comfortable to be above 200 here now? It's
daunting if something goes wrong, I can tell you that. You know, this weekend is going to be a real challenge for reliability. You know, we're going so fast. You know, from engines to just components on the car, tires, you know, it's concerning. And, you know, it's going to be, I'm glad it's 400 miles, but even with 400 miles, you know, you're going to have to manage it. So, you know, the cars are comfortable enough and stuck so well that's why you're not really noticing the speeds as a driver. You know, as a driver, my car, you know, I don't know how much faster we've gone this year than last year, but I feel like it's quite a bit. But my car was way more comfortable, and those speeds were easier to handle this year than they were last year.
Kenny Bruce, right there in the middle behind the camera.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Jeff, how comfortable do you think your car will be when it's in traffic, when the race actually gets underway?
Well, I mean, we were really hoping that we would qualify well. You know, we had some issues getting switched over into qualifying trim in practice, and we only got to make one run, and it was a pretty good run, and I felt like I left quite a bit out on the track because I just wasn't as aggressive as I could have been, and sometimes you only learn that by making a run. That's why you like to make 2 or 3 runs in practice. So luckily I was able to learn a lot from that and then go apply that in qualifying the 3 sessions. You know, I think that luckily we're starting up front, but we know we're going to get back in traffic at some point. I hope we don't. I mean, it'd be nice to keep the track position. But you got to believe that you're gonna be in it, and you hope by that time the groove's widened out a little bit more. As Dale mentioned, 3 and 4 is definitely a little bit wider, so you have a few more options. But 1 and 2, there's really not a lot of options. And the speeds that we're carrying, I mean, even last week at Pocono, you know, we had some different strategies going on, and I got back into about, I don't know, 15th or 18th at one time. And I mean, it was like flipping a switch. I mean, the amount of grip that the car had went from just awesome to none. And it was very, very challenging. And we're just seeing more and more of that as the cars become more aero dependent. And I say that because, we're maximizing the grip and downforce. And so if you take any amount of that away, it makes a bigger difference than it ever used to. And so you get back in traffic at a place like this, in the corners for the length of time that we're in the corners, it's going to be a huge change. And so, yeah, I mean, that's another part of the survival is surviving traffic and being prepared for it. And there's nothing the team can do. There's very little the team can do. You got to it's you having to figure out what's going to happen when you drive in the corner and recognize that the car's buffeting around and that there's probably not a lot of downforce on it.
Jeff,
Mike Griffith, go ahead.
thanks. Mike Griffith from MLive. Jeff, last year, I guess it kind of became kind of a tired storyline. People started to ask you to look towards the end of your career at this point last year, and here you are leading the points. Can you just reflect on this last year, where you're at now compared to maybe a year ago?
Man, I'm just trying to go out on top. That's going to get me in as much trouble as what I said in January. Yeah, I've always said that the combinations are being healthy, being competitive, and just enjoying myself out there. And I've always felt like if those first two things are working for me, then the last is going to come as well. And as long as that's there, then I want to keep doing it. And obviously, I'm enjoying myself a lot right now. You had a little health issue a couple weeks ago, but that's subsided now and feeling pretty good. And I mean, the race cars are just so good that I'm just enjoying every time we're on the track, every weekend that we're racing. And that certainly has brought back some fire in me and the team. And I just feel like Alan has really worked hard to step things up to be a championship caliber team. And I think that the performance this year is showing that hard work and effort paying off.